Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott.
Welcome to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. Special thank you to our sponsors of The Experience Live with Russ and Scott, the Gillette Home Team of Keller Williams. For more information, go to teamgillette.com. And Christine Smith from the Aging Better Network. For more information, go to agingbetternetwork.com. Good morning, everybody. Woo! 2024, here we come.
I'm
How you
excited.
doing, Scott?
I'm excited. I like the new year. I just think it's an exciting time. It's a good time for reflection, a little retrospection, a little looking forward, a little prospection. I just think it's a great time.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's so excited. And by the way, welcome everybody to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. We are here every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for your listening and viewing pleasure. Yes, this becomes an audio podcast after we do the video live stream. So it goes from video live stream to video podcast sitting on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, and then becomes audio podcast. You have so many opportunities to hear from our amazing guests every week that we have. Today, you're blessed with Scott and I, but we have a couple clips from the last year that we just want to talk about as we look forward to the new year, right, Scott?
Yeah, so we'll do a little retrospection, got a couple of videos, just a great little highlight and a sampler of the fabulous guests we have.
Yeah, we are so blessed. I mean, one thing we were talking about on the Experience Backstage this morning, Scott, and that is making friends. All of our guests have come out of making friends. And if you are in a business of any sort and you have to do sales and marketing, let me give you a tip today. Here you go. Here's your sales tip of the day on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. And that is, don't cold call, make friends. Get out there, build community, and connect with people. And that will benefit your business and your life as you go on. And that's how we get all of our guests, right, Scott?
Absolutely. And I was just thinking about, when you're calling people, when you're going into businesses, I always just think of it as a mini networking event, and you're there just to get to know somebody. You're not there to sell them. You just want to ask questions and learn what's going on in their world. And if there's an opportunity to help each other, well, then that's where it's going to go. But just get to know people, and people are cool, by the way.
Yeah, people are cool. So Jeff Tyson, I was on Conversations with Jeff yesterday. He is out of Houston, Texas. And what an amazing man. What an amazing friend. And we got to get him on the Experience because he hasn't been on this show yet. But he is just somebody that I connected with just through reaching out to people and through other friends, and had become an amazing friend. And he is an amazing man of God. And is just encouraging. Last year, while I was going through my cancer battle, he was also going through a prostate cancer battle. And so, we've been able to lift each other up and pray for each other. And that these are the things that come out of the ability come out of making friends and building community, right? The ability to support each other and help each other, whether it's friendship or business, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It was funny. So you were recording yesterday. I was on Dr. Tony Warner's new show yesterday. And that episode, I think, is going to probably come out in April. So she is doing it right in her podcast and video cast. But this is what we were talking about, was really what's important,
Yeah.
Is it just making a lot of money? Is that important to you? Is it supporting your family? Is it having experiences? How do you measure success? So we had a really good conversation yesterday talking about that, and
Right.
that was all due to just saying yes and getting to know what she's involved in.
Well, Dr. Tony's been on this show, and
Mhm.
she's an amazing person, and I'm blessed. I can't remember if it's the end of this week or next week. I'm also recording an episode with Dr. Tony,
Mhm.
and I'm excited about that because any opportunity we get to be out there on other people's shows is just a great opportunity for you and I, Scott, to not only make new friends and build more community, but also it helps promote what you're doing in your life, like the Experience Live with Russ and Scott, right? Anytime we can get out there, let people know what's going on, we can promote that. And I think let's start off with one of the video clips,
Yes, let's do
just
that.
to get things rolling. We'll spread these two out a little bit, but I wanted to say to everybody, thank you. Thank you to you, our community. Thank you to all of our guests. And please, today, actually, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Before I show this clip, I just want to remind you that we would love for you to share this love with people that, come that are in your community, in your world. Say, hey, you know what? The Experience Live with Russ and Scott is on. They have great guests. You've got to get over there, share this out to people, tag your friends, let them know what's going on. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube page. And, I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did because there's so much available. And all you got to do is go to the experience.video. That's it. The experience.video will get you there to our YouTube page. Subscribe today. You can do that right now in a separate tab. In fact, subscribe today. And what does that get you? No more binging Netflix on the weekend. You can binge the Experience Live with Russ and Scott on the weekend.
Mhm.
You can watch these amazing people that bring value, add value to your life. And so we're going to give you a little snippet of that and take a look at some of the guests that were on our show. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
We're gonna watch our intro.
No, this is just my video intro.
I got you.
So, a lot of us are going to live a lot longer.
Mm.
Is there something we can do about that?
Fasting. And this is that intermittent fasting. If you're always digesting, what's going to your brain?
Yeah.
You're short circuiting the system.
That's true. That's true. One more thing. Traveling back and forth to LA in the studio, my engineers would ask, Willie, how do you remember all the material without writing? I haven't written down lyrics in like almost a decade. I don't take notebooks or anything. All those songs you heard, Russ, that you share with you. And I believe eating has a lot to do with it, of course, prayer and stuff like that. But I believe that helps the dynamic of my prayer.
Oh boy. How's it going?
Guys,
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, my friend. And Bonnie, you're so correct on living to the future, not living in the past. And I totally commit myself to. I've been doing a lot of research recently on improving my health, a lot better on my health. And you know what's the main part of that? I found is your gut. Your gut controls almost every part of your body.
You were, and don't look back and say, "Wow, I was a bad person," or I didn't. No, it's who you are today. And it's as Russ says, life happens and then you choose. So what are you going to do today, and where are you going to set yourself up for tomorrow?
That is a great point and great quote, by the way.
But keep your sense of humor, because as I think I've said this, where there's humor, there's hope and there's happiness. So give yourself permission to laugh and smile in just those little moments, because those little moments are the ones that are going to get you through all those other tough moments.
Wow.
There is the first little set of clips. We are just blessed. I'm telling you, every time I watch those, I think, I love these people that we have on, and what amazing friends they've become. There we had a 9/11 hero,
Hmm.
along with Bonnie, who is one of the most positive people I know. Roz, and
Hmm.
was on speaking, who is just like a regular on my shows because she's full of so much wisdom as a coach. We had your lovely wife, Christine.
Hmm.
So many, and Willie J. Oh my goodness, what an amazing guy! I mean, we just had so much great stuff going on there.
And I love that we've got an active and engaged viewers, right? So I love Catherine Lang's comment this morning. Uh, she's ready for creating world domination in 2024, and anyone who's talked to Catherine knows she's serious. I mean, this is
Oh my goodness,
she's
Catherine
right,
is serious.
right
I'm
in.
telling you,
Yeah,
she's ready to go, and I'm excited. A big whoop whoop for you on that one. But yeah, I just thanks for reminding me that I really need to get the
yeah,
comments going on
Dr.
the screen. There you go.
Strong and Leanna
Yes.
and yeah, it's just it's great. There's Mr. Dave Chrysler. He's been a great guest. We've had some wonderful conversations
Well, and Dave is in the next set of
here.
clips coming up. And I tell you, so these people, this community that we have. So
Mhm,
Catherine is an amazing woman of God and
mhm,
just praying for me. She's sending me prayers all the time. I appreciate her. Dr. New, talk about an amazing, positive person, a co-author. She was on actually Rattled Awake, I think, volume 2 after me, but then we were together on A Note to My Family.
mhm,
I Am Your Legacy. We both wrote on that one. Leanna, she was on Rattled Awake with me. Great. Just
mhm.
do these collaborative books. So this is the thing, everybody. Listen, come together with people, make friends, build community, and that brings collaboration. And collaboration brings amazing things. These books that I've been part of, international bestsellers,
Mhm.
not just because of what I do, it's because of the collaborative efforts of everybody coming together and working together, right, Scott? Doing amazing things.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, it's as I often say, there's no limit to what we can accomplish when we network the supercomputers between our ears.
Exactly. No, that's for sure. So, Scott, give us a little wisdom of going into 2024. What are you thinking? What is your word, your theme, your what are you looking at?
Well, the word, oddly enough, is revolution in this year. And there's the astrophysical sense of revolution, like the Earth revolves around the sun, and so we're following a path, right? And then there's also the sense of revolution of a radical change, and especially as small business owners, we need to be prepared to make change because things will happen that are out of our control. But if you have meaning and purpose in your life and you understand what that is, when those circumstances around you that you can't impact, when those change, you can still be true to what you do. It may mean you need to make a change in your business, but that's okay because you're still true to that purpose.
Well, and purpose is so important. And you and I have talked about this, and I am all about purpose, positive mindset, and good perspective, right?
Mhm.
Those things alone are going to change and revolutionize your life. In fact, I would start with everybody being thankful each day, right?
Mhm.
That changes your perspective, changes your mindset, and it helps you gain purpose. It does. And then you can move from there. And my morning routine, Scott, where I start being thankful first thing before I get out of bed. Then I give
Mhm.
myself a pep talk. Then I say today's going to be awesome. And people are like, "Oh my goodness, you're crazy! 4 a.m. There's no way I can do those things because I'm an early riser." And I'm like, "But you know what? You do what works for you." What
Mhm.
Scott and I tell you, what we give you ideas and points on, are ways to make yourself better, not to be exactly like us. And so I want to encourage you today. Listen to me closely. Be you. In 2024, I put this out in my newsletter. I have a LinkedIn newsletter every Monday on LinkedIn. If you're not subscribed, please do. The Happy New Year one, it talks about instead of changing you, why don't you work on being the best you you can be. Be
Mhm.
the best you can be. And my word for the year is abundance. We serve an abundant God. We are blessed, and there's so much abundance around us. And we were created to do amazing things. You were created to do amazing things. So get out there and do it. Take steps to do that. And you can do that just one step at a time, right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing, is do something simple. And, I recommend that people put together a 3-year plan, put together a 3-year vision
There
for
you go.
who you want to be. Because then when the short term things get in your way, you can just go around them, but you're going to continue on this long term direction. And
Right.
so the simple thing to do is to write one sentence. Write one sentence about who do you want to be in 6 different areas. Who do you want to be in your personal life, in your personal relationships, in your spiritual life, in your professional life, in your business life, and in your financial life? Where do you want to be?
Right.
And the financial, I specifically put at the end, because as our friend Simon Sinek says, the money is just a result, right? That's not your
Right.
goal. That's just a result.
Right.
And I love it when people talk about getting paid as getting little notes of appreciation. And when a client sends a check in the mail, I tell my wife, "Well, got another note of appreciation." So, I mean, it's important, and it's a part of what we want to do, but it's not everything that we
Right.
do. So write one sentence for each of those 6 areas.
Well, and you know what my family is doing this year, Scott? We are taking a jar, and my wife got this idea. And so we decided to put this out there and do this ourselves. And that is, any positive things, really good things that happen to us, write them down, put them in the jar. And then at the end of the year, we can go back and we can read all of the amazing positive things that happened to us. And you know me, my family already told me, my daughter was telling me, Dad, we know that you're going to have like 3 times as many in the jar as everybody else. I said, because something really positive, awesome happens to me every day. So I'm just going to always have something good. But I think it's great to look back at that. And speaking of looking back, I'm going to play the next video, but I want to tell
Let's
you,
take a look.
Dave Chrysler is here today. And Dave, I love manufacturing. You know that. And so I'm going to play this next clip. Sometimes we get busy and we have a couple funnies in this clip, like just trying to get a hold of people. And the best way to do is schedule them live. And then also some little malfunctions happen occasionally. So let's take a look at this next clip.
People that want to go from a conversation straight to collaborate, and then they say, oh, this networking stuff doesn't work.
Method. So for me, so I have the 3C method, and that came out from the pandemic. Let's go back to the pandemic when everybody decided they needed to be on LinkedIn and they needed to grow a network overnight, right? Because they hadn't grown their network on LinkedIn and everything shut down, lunch meetings, networking. They're like, Mary, what do I do? I'm like, well, it takes time. You should have been doing this 2 years ago, but
time. I got to swing on for Cinderella for one show, and it was like a freak thing, and it was all hands on deck. It was very last minute. I was not rehearsed, and
no costumes, no wigs.
well, they did end up getting me in costumes. They did get wigs.
Well, with costumes that weren't fitted for you.
Yeah, I had a couple fittings, but a lot of clothes I was wearing the original girls. And Justin he played Prince Charming in the show, and so obviously Cinderella, Prince Charming. And so we're together for chunks of the show, and he was by my side the whole time.
Really, sometimes the best time for us to chat is when I bring you on live, because we're going.
It's easier to get in the schedule, isn't it?
I know. I'm just going to schedule Dave live, and then I can talk to him. So communication is so important, right, Scott? And part of that comes about via pictures and videos. And we have a great photographer today. Oh, my light just went out. There we go. That's here today. Miriam Haugen is coming in the house. Here she is. Hello,
Hey,
Miriam.
Miriam.
Hey, Miriam.
Hi.
How you
So,
doing,
yes,
Miriam?
and lighting is so important.
Yes. And there we go. I'm telling you, it is, yes, lighting is so important. And you never know what's going to happen on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. And the fact is, it's live. And so whatever happens, happens, right?
Yeah, I like to remind people that the very first episode of the Experience Live with Russ and Scott back, not last year, but was the year before that. So it was 2021, right? When we
I
first
think
started
so.
the very
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
episode in January. And I woke up to no power in the house, and I live in an area with very poor cell reception at the time. And so I had to get in the car, drive to a place where I could get cell reception, park, use the rubber bands to hold my phone on the rearview mirror, and use my dome light for lighting, because 7 a.m. in the Northwest, it's dark. I also want to give a shout out because I saw Donna Durbin on as a guest, and she's going to be a guest on the Aging Better Network, aspects of aging, later on today. So people can go to agingbetternetwork.com to the live streaming video, and or watch it on Christine's LinkedIn profile at linkedin.com/Christine-Smith. And that's
There you go.
9 a.m. coming up today.
Yes, and you definitely want to tune into that. An amazing show with Christine, with Scott producing it. And I want to say hey to Maria. And Maria, yes, actually, we've been doing this right along. We're hanging in there. We haven't stopped. And you know what? We need you on the show. So message me and let's schedule that, because I'd love to have you on there. And, you know, today also so thankful to people like your lovely wife, Christine, who are always here supporting us, and my good friend Michael Holt, who I don't know if he misses any of my live streams. The guy is amazing. I'm not sure how he keeps it going, but Michael, great man of God and great friend of mine. And you know, Scott, there's a handful of people like you, Scott, that are my like bestest friends in the world, and Michael Holt is right up there, and we all got to. Yes, and we all got to go to dinner when Noopy came to town. Michael came with us, and that was a lot of fun. So yeah. Anyway, just having so much fun. I wanted to tell everybody real quickly here, and that is my word of the year is abundance. The last couple of years, you know, as you go through life, even as you get older, I am 59, heading towards 60. I'm less than 6 months away. No, not quite. I'm getting close. I'm about 6 months away from turning 60. Hard to believe. I don't feel that.
You're just a kid.
60 years young. That's right. Scott's already beat me to that. But anyway, I am so excited about new opportunities. I haven't given up because life is moving on. I started journaling and doing things about 12 and a half years ago. And every day of my life, I get up and journal. I spend time in prayer, meditation, and I exercise every day of my life, including Christmas, New Year's, all of those things. But also the last couple of years, I've started a word of the year. Why? It helps me focus on what I want. Like Scott's talking about planning. What do we want for the year? Well, listen, I my word of the year is abundance, because I believe God's abundance is out there for all of you. There's an abundant, amazing world we live in. And I tell you, people don't realize how amazing this is. I want to say that it is hard for me not to fathom an intelligent creator when you think of, my beautiful wife brought up yesterday, snowflakes, a little thing. Let's pick a little thing. Every snowflake, if you put it under a microscope, is unique, beautiful, and different. And I want to tell all of you watching today, you are all unique, beautiful, and different, and we're created to do amazing things. And so I just want to encourage you to get out there one step at a time and do it. Right, Scott?
Yeah, absolutely. That's just some great advice, right? And I love this thought of abundance, Because there are two basic mindsets. That's the one of abundance and one of scarcity. And in
Yeah,
scarcity, there's winners and losers. And in abundance, when you have a mindset of abundance, there's winners and winners. And that's a great way to go through life.
it is. And people talk to me, Scott, when I first got started about the people that I brought on my live stream.
Mhm.
And they're like, why are you bringing on other coaches and people that do the same thing you do? Aren't they your competition? And I'm like, no. I said, in fact, they are what make me better. They're the ones that make me who I am, because coming together, learning and growing together with people. This is let's go back to my word of the year. This is an abundant world. There's plenty out there for everybody. Why don't we all of similar mindset work together, collaborate together, and make amazing things happen? The last two books, international bestsellers, were not because I was so great. It's because we were
Mhm.
great together, right?
Absolutely.
Many hands can make great things happen quickly. Those books, by the way, the first book I did, Rattled Awake Collaborative, I have to give a shout out to Lonnie Ray and the group
Mhm.
that put that together. And I'm telling you, we over a weekend wrote, edited, and within a week it was out and an international bestseller. Why? Because everybody worked together. And those people think that is like crazy. That's so much to do to write a book. You're right, it is a lot. But when everybody comes together and people have different talents and abilities and know what they're talking about, you can do amazing things. So I want to encourage you to do that and do it. Don't be overwhelmed. This is what I talked about on Conversations with Jeff yesterday.
Mhm.
Do it one step at a time. Take the next step, because you might look at Scott and I and say, there is no way I could live stream. There's no way I could write a book. Scott's written so many books I've lost track. There's no way I could do that. But how do you do it? One step at a time, because you get better. Just like the Atomic Habits, James Clear talks about 1% better. One step, 1%. Just keep moving that direction, right, Scott?
Yeah, that's the deal. Is set a direction. This is why I'll go back to this 3-year plan. I just finished a 3-year plan, and I look back over that, and I'm so grateful. It was the end of 2019 that I put this together and looked at these different areas of my life, and things don't come out exactly the way you think they will come out, but if you're heading in a different direction, they're going to come out great. As I think it was in Alice in Wonderland when she was asking for directions, and
That's right.
she was asked, "Well, where do you want to go?" And she's, "Well, I don't really care." Well, then it doesn't really matter which way you go, and you're bound to get somewhere if you walk long enough. Well, is that really the way you want to live your life? Maybe you want to be a little more intentional. Maybe someone out there is going to use intentional as their word of the year.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's so important. And as my friend Tim Sohn knows, and we talk about so much, is when your mortality is thrust upon you in your life,
Mhm.
you suddenly get a whole new perspective on how important every moment is, right?
Mhm.
And so through my cancer battle the last year and a half, through Tim's cancer battle for much longer than that, through many friends that I have come to know that we all have challenges. We all have things going on. When you get that thrust before you, you suddenly think, I want to be the best person I can be today, this moment. I can't think of anything better, Scott, that I would love to do than be spending this time on the experience with you at this moment, right?
Mhm.
I woke up and I already kissed and prayed with my beautiful wife. That was my first thing. And then now's my moment to spend with my great friend Scott. And these each moments are so important, right? Scott, if I am not here after the show, the moment anymore on this earth, I've been blessed this time
Mhm.
with you. And I'm telling you, that just kind of chokes me up thinking that no, I mean, it's not and people sometimes look at that as a negative thing. It's not negative.
Mm, mm-mm.
Listen, everybody, we all have a limited time.
Mhm.
This life is a limited offer, right? Limited time. We're all going to die. And that is not a negative. That should propel you into a positive action mode on this earth. And
Russ,
if you, yeah,
I just look forward to being able to hang out with you every week. It's fun, and in fact, we have a regularly scheduled time on Monday, just the two of us, to talk, and we get together face to face when we can, and it's just it's an uplifting time. And as you mentioned, we all have an expiration date. For some people, it's just brought a little bit more prominent because of circumstances like a cancer diagnosis or some other situation. But this is a question that was asked of me, I don't know, probably 5 years ago. And I think this is one to consider. As I said, if you knew your termination date and it was imminent, what would you do different? How would you live different? And my response was, what I do wouldn't change.
and that should, I think, I don't know, Scott. I mean, my opinion is that should be what everybody thinks, because but there's a lot of people that are not in that position. And I just want to encourage you, if you don't feel that you would continue doing the same thing if you knew you were going when your expiration date was, then you should change things, not change you, change things. Like, just for an example. Okay. So we talked about who we are, who we want to be. Sometimes things are going great. A lot of times it's just by changing your environment or who you're around. This is why I hang out with Scott, everybody. I want to be better. I hang out with people like Scott that are going to make me better. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I mean, Scott, if it was not for Scott, I would not be doing a lot of the things that I'm doing, not because I wasn't able, but because I needed that little push from Scott. I
We
needed
all
that
need
little
it.
nudge.
Yeah, we all need that, right? We all
Yeah.
need an outside influence. And um, so one of the collaborative books that I have out there was with Matt Rouse and Holly Jean Jackson. We talk about isolation. And we're actually in the process of revising that book. We pulled it from Amazon, and we're actually in the process of revising that because isolation is a killer. It'll kill your business. It'll kill you in your personal life. It'll kill you in so many ways, uh, literally, figuratively, whatever you want to look at. But uh, don't try to go alone. Try to find those folks, whether it's your family, friends, someone. Create that opportunity to have, well, as we say, surround yourself with those who will not let you fail.
Exactly. No, that's it. Surround yourself with those that will not let you fail, because you, everybody out there, have so much potential, so much value, and you were created with value. If you feel valueless, if you feel like you want to hide because you don't feel like you're worth anything, you have great self-worth. God has given you great worth, and you need to tap into that. And I agree with Scott 100%. Get out there and make things happen because you can. And Scott has, again, encouraged me. I would never have written one book if it wasn't for Scott. And then I met so many amazing friends, and suddenly I've written, well, counting my workbook, I have 5 on, I'm going to have 5 on Amazon here coming up. And that's mind blowing to me, right? But it's all because of encouragement, collaboration, working together. And I just want to tell everybody that is where we're going in 2024, right?
Yeah, I would
Forget
love to see a lot of people that are in the audience that haven't written a book to make that a goal for this year. And we've got Liz Lawless here. We've got Catherine Lang, people who you can get in contact with who will help you
Yeah.
to take that experience that you have, that knowledge that you have, the stories that fill your life. And I guarantee most people think, oh, I just have a plain vanilla life. It's not very interesting until they start digging into it. And pretty soon, people will find out they have a remarkable life. They have a lot of stories to share, things that are important. Capture those in a book this year.
Yeah. Well, exactly. The people, you have more than you know, everybody. I want to put out a note for somebody right now, and I'm just putting this in the comments. Somebody who had joined us so many times and is such a support and encouragement when it comes to live streaming, when it comes to getting things out there, and that is Mr. Russ Johns.
Mhm.
And improving and recovering greatly. And we love you. And we just wanted to let you know we're praying for you. Uh, just wanted to put that out there because Russ has been one of those encouragements when you um, talk about people over the last year or two or three or four, whatever, that have been huge encouragement to me, and he is one of them. And
Mhm.
so I want to thank you for that. And I also want to put this out because she is active in the comments right now. And that we talked about Catherine before, but I appreciate your prayers in the morning when you send those to me. And nothing lights up my day like somebody who has taken a little bit of time to send you a message. And I like to try to do that for people, but it's so wonderful when that happens to you. And so, Scott, I'm telling you, as we wrap things up, it's been an amazing 2023, but it's going to be even a more amazing 2024, right?
We have got some great guests already lined up for the first quarter of this year.
Yes.
So, a lot of folks, we would love to get you onto the show. It will take some time because we we have no problem with finding remarkable people to
No.
get onto this show. And every week, it's so inspirational. First of all, I get to hang out with Russ. That
Woo.
is a benefit. And then we get great people as guests. We have wonderful comments. Thank you to everybody who has supported the experience. And a special thanks to our sponsors, to Aging Better Network this month and Gillette Home Team.
Amazing.
Laura Gillette was there from the beginning
Yeah.
and has been a supporter all along
Yes.
with the experience. And so we just really thank them. And I'll just say, I want to thank the whole team for helping my wife and I sell our house. It was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, no, they are an amazing, amazing group. And, I just want to thank everybody again for being with us, being part of this community. Please share this out. Please let everybody know. Remember, if you're watching on replay, you can put hashtag team replay and let us know. You can still comment. You can still share. You can still join our YouTube page at the experience.video, right?
Mhm.
It is simple, everybody. The experience.video is the place to go. And if you want to, encourage yourself, watch a few of those videos this weekend, right? And see some of the amazing people. And you can see Russ Johns on this show, and so many amazing people. So with that, Scott, give everybody your final words and how they get in touch with you.
Yeah, well, you can find me at dscottsmith.com, all the social media there. You can schedule time with me. There's things you can download. One of them that I talked about on Dr. Tony Warren's was my cheat sheet on being successful at business networking events, 6 steps that are based in brain science. And so that's what I'll say is find opportunities to go to live events and meet with people. Alignable is a source out there that there's a lot of local events on Alignable. And so I encourage you, find those. Use your Chamber of Commerce, use Eventbrite or Meetup, one of those services. Find something and go to an event that you wouldn't go to normally.
Right. Absolutely. And that's just it. You can find things that you don't normally do. Make a change because the definition of insanity. It's doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting different results. So this year, do something different. And why don't you start by going to dscottsmith.com? There's all of his information and connect with him. And go to russhedge.com for me. And I want to encourage you to take life one step at a time. Make yourself 1% better in this new year. Don't try to overwhelm yourself. Don't try to start an exercise plan where you're going to spend 2 hours at the gym every day and blow yourself out and not have the ability to keep maintaining what you're doing. Do something you can maintain. And if you need help, Go to dscottsmith.com, come to russhedge.com, talk to us. We'd love to encourage you. We'd love to help you. And as we go out today, we're going to go out with one of the video clips again. And so we're just so thankful that you're all here today. Have a blessed and amazing week. Until we see you again, have a great day and enjoy
the experience.
Woohoo!
A lot of us are going to live a lot longer. Is there something we can do about that?
And this is that intermittent fasting. If you're always digesting, what's going to your brain?
Yeah.
You're short circuiting the system.
That's true. That's true. One more thing. Traveling back and forth to LA in the studio, my engineers would ask, Willie, how do you remember all the material without writing? I haven't written down lyrics in like almost a decade. I don't take notebooks or anything. All those songs you heard, Russ, that you share with you. And I believe eating has a lot to do with it. Of course, prayer and stuff like that. But I believe that helps the dynamic of my prayer.
Oh boy. How's it going?
Nice.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing wonderful, my friend. And Bonnie, you're so correct on living to the future, not living in the past. And I totally commit myself to. I've been doing a lot of research recently on improving my health, a lot better on my health. And you know what's the main part of that? And I found is your gut. Your gut controls almost every part of your body.
And don't look back and say, "Wow, I was a bad person," or I did. No, it's who you are today, and it's as Russ says, life happens and then you choose. So what are you going to do today, and where are you going to set yourself up for tomorrow?
That is a great point and great quote, by the way.
But keep your sense of humor, because as I think I've said this, where there's humor, there's hope and there's happiness. So give yourself permission to laugh and smile in just those little moments, because those little moments are the ones that are going to get you through all those other tough moments.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.